everyone to Intensity Broadcasting for tonight's coverage of the Afterburner 200. Tonight, these ARCA cars will be taking on Langley Speedway for 200 laps of racing action. I'm going to be your announcer for tonight's event. My name is Langley Speedway, and I'm excited to call every second of tonight's short track racing action. 19 of some of the best iRacers in the country and Canada are right here at Larry King Law's Langley Speedway for the inaugural running of what could be one of iRacing's newest and biggest short track racing events. These ARCA cars are high-powered and lots of fun, and we have a star-studded driver lineup powering them around this racetrack. Thank all of you so far. Watch on all of our platforms, Twitch and Facebook. Right now we've got 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in practice. Ethan Johnson is on the top of the board, followed by Jacob Hefner, Suyumbov Saini, Avery Farrell, and Brody Marenko. They make out the top 5 of the 19 ARCA cars that will be taking on the Afterburner 200. Of course, this is a charity event. For the Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters Cancer and Blood Disorder Center. Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters is the leading children's hospital in southeastern Virginia, and the only freestanding children's hospital in the entire state of Virginia. On the second floor of the hospital is a center dedicated to the treatment of pediatric cancer and blood disorders. The space includes a comprehensive clinic, patients. 70 new cases of childhood cancer are diagnosed annually, and 500 pediatric cancer patients are treated there every year. The Cancer and Blood Disorder Center helps children of the Hampton Roads area, which is a population of over 1 million. According to their website, donations raised tonight contributes to purchasing medical supplies and equipment, funding pediatric medical research, funding the integrative care team, purchasing surgical gloves, IV poles, and hospital beds, and supporting these specialized health programs. These things could really help many kids that receive treatment at the Cancer and Blood Disorder Center. And I'm really proud to announce that with all of the insurance that we've received and some other donations as well, we've raised so far over $270. We're going right to the Cancer and Blood Disorder Center. So thank you so much to everybody that is entered into this race. You see all of those names that are running. Half of their entry fee went to the Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters. Also want to give a big thank you to Todd Schock for his generous donation. And also thank you to Sam Wetstein of SamAlley.com for donating as well. We'll talk more about SamAlley.com in a second. But for those of you that are watching, if you would like to donate to the Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters, I do have 3 different payment option links, or QR codes rotating on the top part of your screen. One for Venmo, one for Cash App, and one for PayPal. If you're not able to scan a QR code at this time, you can check out the link in the description. It provides the username to send it to those 3 payment options. Any donation is appreciated and Hospital's Cancer and Blood Disorder Center in Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters in southeastern Virginia. That's what this race is doing tonight. So thank you so much to everybody that's donated and entered. The support is greatly appreciated. I did mention SamAlley.com. They donated to the cause. I want to thank them so much for their support of the CHP Cancer and Blood Disorder Center. Sam and Allie are a husband and wife team from Northern Indiana, embarking on a new adventure as they approach retirement. Starting this family for 5 years has turned into his passion for creating unique home decor and accessories that combine imagination, creativity, and the power of AI AI-generated art. They offer cool graphic tees, mugs, and candles on their website, samalley.com. So if you're interested in purchasing a gift for a loved one, I know Valentine's Day is coming up, birthdays are always around, go ahead and check out their website, samalley.com. And the winner of this race will receive a personalized Afterburner 200 desk mat from samalley.com. So thank you to Sam and samalley.com for their support of the event. All right, it is now time for qualifying. Drivers will get 2 laps to try to set their best possible lap time, and that will determine where they will start in the feature event. And this is one of the most important parts of the race, as track position is extremely important. You see a mad rush of cars heading out onto the racetrack. One of them is Moses Lakes, Washington's Jacob Schenkel in car number 88. You see a little bit of a throwback to Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s baseball paint scheme that he ran at Daytona. We see Delaney Gray goes to the top of the board with a 15.87. She was just crowned the North Carolina Bandolero Bandit champion last night at the INEX banquet. So congratulations to her. She looks to try to carry on that success tonight here to the Afterburner 200. Schenkel first lap 16.93, trying to improve things. We see Suyambov Saini goes to the top of the board with a 15.73. He's a wing champ competitor at Langley Speedway in real life. Doing well here in the virtual world of things. Delaney Gray now is falling to third as we see Steven Oberstadt goes to second with a 15.7, 8.5 off of Saini. Schenkel stays out there, getting a little bit of extra laps in, just taking advantage of as much practice time as he can before the race begins. Now to go a little bit. Now this race is for money. Half of the entry fees went to charity, while the other half went to a prize pool. The winner of this race will get $100. Second place will receive $50. Third place will receive $25. Fourth place will receive $15, and fifth place will receive $10. There's a lot on the line besides bragging rights. So these drivers want that money. They want to be successful. And the first step is right here in qualifying. There's Jacob Hafner from Dallas, North Carolina, in car number 95, car store competitor. Seeing lots of success at tracks like Langley and others throughout the southeastern United States. The driver who has had plenty of success at Langley is Ryan Matthews, who we saw just there. He's in the late model division. He goes to second on the board with a 15.76, just 300ths off of Saini's lap time. And Jacob Hafner to the top of the board with a 15.52, 200ths ahead of Suyambov Saini. Jacob Hafner putting that Cars Tour experience to use, scorching hot lap time, and he's staying out there for more. Ethan Johnson of Apex, North Carolina, out there on track, trying to see what he can do. Currently 6th on the board. Blaze Brinkley jumps to second with a 15.71, still 0.2 off of Jacob Hafner. See Gavin Gleitzman out there on track, car number 63. Turned to 16.58 on his first lap. Got the qualifying tape on. Now these cars, they are very hard on the tires. So drivers have, and this is an open setup race, so drivers have been tweaking the setup, experimenting, getting ready for this race. As we see, Gleitzman goes to 8th on the board. But these drivers have been tweaking on the setups, getting ready for this race, because they know just how important saving those tires are going to be. I'm going to say tire saving so much you're going to get tired of me saying it, because one set of tires in these ARCA cars is a brutal task considering how much power these cars have. So tire saving, very important, and tweaking the setup in order to save tires will be very important. In 200 laps, only one set of tires. Caution laps will not count. $100 on the line. That's the situation for this race. And qualifying wrapping up as we get set for the race. I believe it'll be Jacob Hefner starting on the pole. Again, Cars Tour competitor. Really cool to have him in this race. We'll see what he can do. All right, here we go. The field is set. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. Starting on the pole with a scorching hot lap time of 15.516. It's the 95 Rapid Race Cars machine of Jacob Hefner. On his outside, it's Blaze Brinkley in the 11. Third is the 57 Suyambov Saini Racing driver of Suyambov Saini. Fourth is Ryan Matthews, and rounding out your top five, that's Steven Oberstadt. Sixth is Delaney Gray in the 84. Seventh is the 51 Ethan Johnson Racing Machine of Ethan Johnson. Eighth is Gavin Gleitzman in the 63. Ninth is the 34 Avery Farrell Racing Machine of Avery Farrell. And rounding at your top 10, it's Neon Racing's Devin Bucciano in the 68. 11th is the number 16 on the ticker, number 2 on the track, Brody Marinko. 12th is Andrew Sheffield. 13th is the 27 on the ticker, 29 on the track, Mason Dunn. 14th is Chapperman Racing's Derek Chapu. 15th is the 77 Chapperman Racing Machine of Logan Hagerman. 16th, it's Sigma Racing Team's Brandon Butler, the second in the 93. 17th is the 30 of Carson Obe. 18th is Sigma Racing Team's Jacob Schengle. And rounding out the field in 19th, it's Wasted Wages Racing's Colin Willems in the 17. So 19 drivers from 2 different countries all meet right here at Langley Speedway for what will be one of the biggest iRacing events of the year. The Afterburner 200 started planning all the way back in November, and we are getting ready to see the final product on track right now. 200 laps of ARCA racing coming your way in just a second. We look to your front row, Jacob Hefner, Blaze Brinkley, both of them late model competitors throughout the Southeast, but also they are brothers-in-law. So they're going to be competing hard and hoping that the next family gathering won't be awkward if a calamity happens on the racetrack. So pace car will be coming in this time by, getting set for 200 laps of racing action. There's that Ford Mustang, iRacing.com pace car. Pulls into the pits. And green flag is in the air. The Afterburner 200 is underway here at Langley Speedway. Brinkley, Hefner side by side into 1 and 2. We see Hefner as the nose off the corner. There's Brinkley fighting back on the outside. They remain nose to nose, but Hefner has the momentum on the bottom. We see Brinkley tucks in line into second place. There's Suyambov Saini in third. Ryan Matthews fourth, and Steven Oberstadt currently battles Ethan Johnson for fifth. But we look back to the battle for the lead. Jacob Hefner, Blaze Brinkley, 2 fastest in qualifying, top 2 on the racetrack right now. We continue to watch Steven Oberstadt was stuck on the outside. Ethan Johnson able to get by him on the bottom. That moves the 51 up into the 5th place spot. We see Hefner currently leads, fastest car on the racetrack with a 15.91. That was his last lap time. Now looking at Ethan Johnson, he is reeling in Ryan Matthews for that 4th place position. Car 51 getting closer and closer to the back bumper of the number 5. Again, Ryan Matthews certainly knows his way around Langley Speedway in real life. Multi-time late model winner there. Had a very good season in 2024. And so far, he's seen a lot of success here on the virtual side of Langley Speedway, running in that 4th place spot. But Ethan Johnson right there in that 51, the number that Ryan normally runs in real life. And Steven Oberstadt not too far behind in 6th. Gavin Gleitzman there as well in 7th. So cars currently running their fastest lap times of the race. But you know what they say, you got to get through the first 7 laps of the race to get to the rest of the race. At this point, it's all about saving tires, getting track position, and that's exactly what these drivers are doing right now. Not pushing the issue when looking to try to make passes, only maybe trying to make a move if something opens up for them. And that's what Suyambov Sainy's hoping for right now as he closes in on the back bumper of the 11. We see Ethan Johnson says, all right, I'm taking that position. He gets up to 4th after passing Ryan Matthews. So now Ethan Johnson setting his sights on the top 3. He's closing in on the 57 of Suyambov Sainy. I don't know if he was maybe wanting to pick up the pace a little bit as he's now gotten underneath the 57. Good run off the corner for the 51. Now Ethan Johnson made his way up into the top 3, trying to track down Blaze Brinkley and Jacob Hefner. Ryan Matthews follows right behind, knocking Sainy down to the 5th place position. And he may be under attack soon from Steven Oberstadt and Gavin Kleitzman right there behind him. 11 laps in the books. Jacob Hefner leads. He's got about a half a second lead right now over Blaze Brinkley. And not too far behind is Ethan Johnson. What's happening at another portion of the track? We're watching Brody Marinko and Avery Farrell close by in the battle for 8th and 9th. They're trying to close in on your top 6. Other battles elsewhere. It's Brandon Butler. He just got passed by Colin Willems. Willems works his way up into the 15th place position, rocking the Matt Kenseth DeWalt paint scheme. Oh, Jacob Hefner having to deal with some lap traffic. That's Jacob Shangle. He goes up the racetrack, moves out of the way. Thought that could have opened the door for Blaze Brinkley, but he stays behind Hefner for the time being. They're closing in on another lap car, Carson Obe, in just a second. Blaze maybe going to try to use that 30 machine as a pick. And he keeps it right behind Hefner for the time being. They're getting closer and closer to that 30 car. See, he holds the bottom of the racetrack, and Hefner able to get by him with ease. Rest of the field making it by car number 30. See Ethan Johnson having to play offense and defense. He's got Ryan Matthews directly behind him and Blaze Brinkley in front of him. See Dayton Weiss on YouTube. It would be pretty awesome if ARCA cars actually ran at Langley Speedway. Yes, they would. ARCA, if you're watching this, take note of the racing action that you're seeing right now. Bring maybe the ARCA Menard Series East to Langley Speedway. We'd be happy to have you. That would be absolutely awesome. Love to see not just Langley Speedway, but the ARCA Menards East. Also, maybe go to some other awesome racetracks around the Southeast, and especially in Virginia, North Carolina. A lot of the places that the Cars Tour goes to has some awesome racing action. Right now, lap 21, Jacob Hefner continues to lead over Blaze Brinkley. Action heating up behind him for 5th place as Suyambov Sainy's got Gavin Gleitzman all over his back bumper. We've been caution-free so far. Hopefully I didn't jinx it, but it's been some good, hard, clean racing. I think we'll see more of the same. I think right now what we're seeing out of Jacob Hefner is he's just trying to manage the pace right now. Because he has that 1st place position, he can kind of set the pace and keep the field kind of how he wants to run in order to save his tires. But eventually we may see Blaze Brinkley get a little bit impatient and try to get some more spots from him, or that 1 spot to get to the lead. So we'll just have to see how this nature of the race shifts. Coming up on some more lap traffic once again. There's Jacob Shangle and Carson Obe. Jacob Hefner going to have to find a way to quickly navigate around the 88 and the 30. with Blaze Brinkley very close in tow. Elsewhere, we see Brody Marenko is caught up to Steven Oberstadt for the 7th place position as they're having to go around Carson Obe. Not too far behind them is Avery Farrell. We'll see what Brody tries to do here. He's just content running behind the 8 for the time being. Look back to your top 3, Jacob Hefner, Blaze Brinkley, and Ethan Johnson all running close together. I know they're all friends in the same voice chat together. So they're talking with each other and talking about how they want to manage the pace. I don't think Ryan Matthews is in on those conversations. He's just trying to guess what's going on with your top 3 right now in that 4th place position. Same thing with Suyambov Saini in car number 57. ARCA cars, they have a lot of power. It's very easy to spin them out, and they burn through those tires, those general tires, very quickly. So tire management, very important. I ran a test race and plenty of laps in these cars, and from the start, I realized, man, these feel a lot like late models feel like in real life. If you've been on iRacing and you've tried the late models, they feel really gripped up, and they feel kind of down power, or it may just be because of the amount of grip that they have. So these ARCA cars feel a lot like how a late model feels, or a limited late model at Langley with those 8-inch tires, how they feel when, you know, the tires are worn and with that amount of power. So I'm really glad to see. This could be kind of more of a simulation of what the Hampton Heat at Langley Speedway is like compared to if you ran the late models here at Langley. Saw Logan Hagerman go a lap down. A lot of drivers just biding their time, not pushing the issue too much. There's a lot at the field around Logan Hagerman. Still got Gavin Gleitzman on the back bumper of Suyambov Saini. Ryan Matthews there in the 4th place spot. From 1st to 9th, they're not separated by very much. After that, field gets a little bit more spread out. You see near each other, there's Derek Chapman, Mason Dunn, and Devin Butchino all in close proximity for 11th, 12th, and 13th. But the main battle we're really seeing right now is for that 1st place through 9th place. Was really competitive, but I mean, that was a crazy qualifying lap we saw from Jacob Hefner. 2/10 faster than the rest of the field, and he's starting to get away from 2nd place Blaze Brinkley a little bit. Ethan Johnson still close behind in 3rd. There's Ryan Matthews maybe thinking about getting underneath him if the opportunity presents itself. Jacob Hefner coming up on some more lap traffic. I believe that's Brandon Butler, the 2nd, that he's reeling in. So another opportunity for Blaze Brinkley to try to use that 93 as a pick if he wants to try to snag that position. You see Butler holds the high side. There goes Hefner and Brinkley on through. Still on a Sunday drive for the 95 of Jacob Hefner. And let's do a little bit of a flyby through the field so we can see where your favorite driver is running. Currently in 1st, it's Jacob Hefner. 2nd, Blaze Brinkley. 3rd is Ethan Johnson. That 4th place spot, it's Ryan Matthews. And rounding out your top 5, it's Suyambov Saini. 6th, Gavin Gleitzman. 7th, Steven Oberstadt. 8th is Brody Marenko. 9th, it's Avery Farrell. Rounding out your top 10, Andrew Sheffield. 11th is Derek Chapman. 12th, Mason Dunn. 13th is Devin Butchino. 14th, Delaney Gray. 15th is Colin Willems. 16th, it's Logan Hagerman. 17th is Brandon Butler, the 2nd. 18th, Jacob Schenkel. And rounding out the field in 19th, that's Carson Obe. So strong field of 19 cars, and still we have 15 on the lead lap after 44 laps. And I think any of those 15 cars could win it. And you never know what could happen if one of those drivers that's one lap down, like Logan Hagerman and Brandon Butler, gets their lap back. That is the tricky part about these longer tire-saving races. If you find yourself in the back trying to save tires, sometimes you save too much back there, and the leaders catch up to you and they put you a lap down. So that's what some of those drivers may be running towards the rear of the field, like Colin Willems, Logan Hagerman, and Brandon Butler, or excuse me, Devin Butchino, Delaney Gray, and Colin Willems, those drivers that are running towards the tail of the field. That's what they might be doing, just saving tires and staying at the rear of the field, and then as soon as the leaders start to reel them in, they'll maybe pick up the pace a little bit and get some track position back. Currently, Colin Willems is the last driver on the lead lap. The leaders are in view, and they are closing in on him, so we might want to try to pick up the pace a little bit. Chris Harvey on YouTube says, I'm late. YouTube didn't notify me, even though got the notifications on. Well, glad you're able to tune in, Chris. Definitely have a good race on our hands. After 50, Jacob Hefner, Blaze Brinkley still close for your top two, and they will have some lap traffic to deal with in just a second as they close in on Colin Willems. We've been green and clean so far. No cautions after 50 laps. Drivers being very disciplined, knowing that it's a long race and they only have one set of tires at their disposal. There is no halfway break, so we may see some green flag pit stops if drivers want to utilize those tires. Back to Gavin Gleitzman, currently riding behind Ryan Matthews for that first place spot. Ryan and Gavin both able to get by soon above Sainu, who's fallen to sixth place now. David Farrell has kind of fallen off the lead pack. So now it's your top 8 that's very close with each other. Jacob Hefner all the way back to Brody Marinko. Just a choo-choo train of ARCA cars as these drivers save and try to keep their tires underneath them. And this is a charity race for the Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters Cancer and Blood Disorder Center. Really happy to put this on for them. The Children's Hospital of the King's Daughter, they are the leading children's hospital in southeastern Virginia. Only freestanding children's hospital in the entire state of Virginia. And on the second floor of their hospital is a center that is completely dedicated to the treatment of pediatric cancer and blood disorders. And so that is what we're having the benefit for this evening. All of the donations raised will go to funding things such as purchasing medical school supplies and equipment, funding pediatric medical research, funding the integrative care team, purchasing surgical gloves, IV poles, and hospital beds, and supporting specialized health programs. So far, we've raised $270 for the Cancer and Blood Disorders Center, and I do have rotating payment options on the top right corner of your screen. If it does catch your heart to donate to the cause, it'd be greatly appreciated. If you can't scan the QR code, I've put the links to those payment options in the description. Any amount is definitely appreciated. We do keep all of the kids and their families that are at the Cancer and Blood Disorders Center in our thoughts and prayers. Definitely pray for strength and healing as they go through this difficult time. But they're definitely blessed to have the Cancer and Blood Disorder Center here in southeastern Virginia, so close by. And oh, we got a stack up off of turn number 4. That'll bring us under our first caution of the evening. Let's take a look at what happened. We're watching Mason Dunn was riding behind Derek Chaput, right on his back bumper. We see taps that left rear, gets him up the racetrack, textbook bump and run. So that opens up the bottom for him. There we see heading down the racetrack. Didn't have a good enough run off the corner to get underneath him, so he drives it in again in 1, 3, and 4 and just slams his back bumper, sending him sideways. And that's what brings us under our first yellow of the evening. So Andrew Sheffield went down pit road. See what happened there. I think maybe just used a fast repair. Not entirely sure. That was a quick pit for Sheffield. Bunches, what's good, fellas? What's going on, Al? Thanks for popping into the stream, checking things out. Afterburner 200 here at Langley Speedway. Benefit for the Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters Cancer and Blood Disorder Center. And it has been a great race so far. Had a quick caution, but we're getting ready to go back under green with Jacob Hefner restarting on the bottom, Blaze Brinkley on the top. There's Andrew Sheffield getting his wave around. And green flag is back in the air. There's Hefner up through the gears, leading the field into 1 and 2. We see Brinkley tucks in line into the second place spot. It's Johnson, Gleitzman battling it out for third. Johnson, strong run on the bottom. Gleitzman trying to hang on, not the preferred group for him. Johnson able to get clear, and now Ryan Matthews tries to follow behind, and he is able to get clear of Gleitzman, so that moves Matthews up to fourth, Johnson to third. Gavin Gleitzman falls to the 5th place position. Further back, Siney, Farrell side by side for that 8th place position. We see Avery's got the nose off of turn number 2, motors off, and able to get clear of the 57. That puts him up into the 8th place spot now. But top 3, you could throw a blanket over them. Hefner, Brinkley, Johnson have been running close with each other all race long, but still, we are not even to the halfway point yet. Still a lot of race to go, still a lot of tires to be saved. And so that's just what Hefner, Brinkley, Johnson are doing in their ARCA Menards choo-choo train. Again, mentioned it at the beginning of the broadcast, or when we were introducing the starting lineups. Jacob and Blaze, both late model racers in North Carolina, but it is interesting to mention that they are brothers-in-law. Jacob married Blaze's sister, so I'm sure they're both hoping for no calamity between each other in this one. For the next family gathering, maybe a little bit awkward. Ethan Johnson, another real-life racing competitor in the late models. There you've seen his profile picture. That's him at Carteret County Speedway, where he competes occasionally. Star-studded field of a lot of real-life racers. And along with the real-life racers, we've got some veteran iRacers and just some casual iRacers. We've got all skill levels here in this race. Definitely love to see it. As with this diverse bunch, we've had some great racing so far. All throughout the field, you can find a battle going from first all the way for the battle for 14th, with 2 cars down a lap between Colin Willems and Logan Hagerman, 2 of our 4 Canadians in this race. Great White North is well represented with 4 drivers from Canada. Derek Chaput in 10th, Colin Willems in 14th, Logan Hagerman in 15th, and Carson Ove in 18th. All are from the Maple Leaf country. rest from the United States, a lot of them from Virginia and North Carolina. We have a few other states represented, such as Devin Bucciano from the state of New York and Jacob Schenkel from the state of Washington. You see Jacob Hefner catching some lap traffic. That's Andrew Sheffield. So Hefner hoping he doesn't get held up too much, and Blaze maybe hoping he does get held up because he can maybe use that 54 as a pick to get by that 95. I know we keep saying it as they come up on every single lap car, but it may happen eventually, maybe as the race gets a little bit more dicey. Here they are getting closer to the 54. You see Hefner gets into his back bumper. Sheffield with ease, continuing to run in that first place spot. We're 75 laps down in this race, approaching the halfway point in just 25 more laps. We'll do a quick flyby of the field to see where your favorite driver is currently running. It's Jacob Hefner in the first place position, just to see it's been all race long. Blaze Brinkley in second. He's been here for a lot of the race, or I believe for the entire race. Ethan Johnson third. He's also been in the top three for pretty much the entire race. It's Gavin Gleitzman in fourth. Brody Marinko in fifth. Ryan Matthews sixth. Steven Oberstadt seventh. Sungabov Saini eighth. Avery Farrell ninth. Derek Chaput, he rounds out your top 10. Devin Bucciano in 11th. 12th place is Andrew Sheffield. 13th, Logan Hagerman. 14th is Colin Willems. 15th, that's Mason Dunn. 16th is Delaney Gray. 17th, Brandon Butler II. 18th, Carson Obe. And rounding out the field in 19th, that's Jacob Schenkel. $80 laps in the books, 11 cars now on the lead lap, going from Jacob Hefner in the first place position to Devin Bucciano in the 11th place position. Hefner reeling in 2 lap cars in Jacob Schenkel and Carson Obe, who are having a little bit of a battle of their own, both of them 3 laps down, but still very close together on the track. They are fighting for that 18th spot. So whether it's the fight for first between Jacob Hefner and Blaze Brinkley, or the fight for the last place position, Carson Obe and Jacob Schenkel, no shortage of action on the racetrack. Let's take a look at the biggest mover of the race. Biggest mover of the race is Brody Marinko, currently running in that 5th place position. He started in 11th, has gained 6 spots, and now has found his way in the top 5, where he looks to try to get more, as he is very close behind Gavin Gleitzman and Ethan Johnson. As for the biggest faller, that's Delaney Gray, currently running in 16th. She started this race in the 6th place position, but has lost 10 spots so far, and has found herself down multiple laps. Apologies, nope, she's only down 1 lap. She has found herself down a lap in the 16th place position. Dayton Weiss is great racing so far, but it's going to be interesting to see tires have been managed. Absolutely. That's always the really cool part about these tire management races, is seeing who did a good enough job at saving tires. And right now, it looked like top 5 has actually done a very good job at doing so. Looking at lap times, they are only 4/10 off of their best lap times, and there may be more in the tank. I'm not exactly sure. Jacob Hefner, Blaze Brinkley, Ethan Johnson, Gavin Gleitzman, and Brody Marinko, all of them very good here on the iRacing platform and in real life at saving tires. They've got experience with it. So far they've done a good enough job. Looking at somebody else outside of the top 5, Ryan Matthews also about 3/10 off of his best lap time. Steven Oberstadt about 4/10 currently off of his best lap time. So not too much fall off, but I'm sure as this race continues to progress, these drivers are going to be itching to grab that fresh set of tires. Now I will mention this, I know we are approaching lap 100 out of 200. There will not be a halfway break in this race. So the only opportunity for these drivers to come in and take tires will be if we see a caution come out or green flag pit stops. So if these drivers really want some new shoes, they either have to hope for a caution soon come in under green. That's all about the gamble, all about the strategy. It's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. And, well, there's your caution. Right almost at halfway. Caution flag is in the air. What happened? We're watching Gavin Gleitzman in car number 63. He was running in the 4th place spot. There he is off the corner. And looks like already a little bit squirrely. Loses a ton of momentum. I think he was maybe fighting the wheel. And just loses it off the corner. Marinko nowhere to go. Hits him in the back bumper. And up to the top of the racetrack he goes. So, 2 strong contenders involved in that one as we see Gavin Gleitzman down on pit road getting damage fixed. Looking at Brody. Does have a little bit of right front damage, so he may want to come in and get that fixed. And despite us being very close to halfway, our leaders have decided to opt to not come into the pits. So they stay out. Although we do see Andrew Sheffield is into the pits. What's car 54 going to do? And Andrew Sheffield is taking tires. But it looked like he only took right sides. Actually, it looks like he only took the right rear. So crew chief opts to only grab the right rear tire. Delaney Gray also in the pits. Not sure how many tires she's grabbed. Gavin Gleitzman has taken tires. Yep, Delaney Gray got some tires. Some interesting strategy. Sheffield, fresh right rear, it looks like. Well, can he use it to his advantage? Green flag is back in the air, almost to halfway. There's Hefner, Brinkley, side by side into 1 and 2. Brinkley tucks in line into second. There's Ethan Johnson third. It's Ryan Matthews, Brody Marinko duking it out for that 4th place position. Matthews gets to 4th. Now Brody Marinko, despite having that right front damage, he's able to keep it in the top 5. Delaney Gray has just exited the pits. She is currently on that outside lap. So everybody having to go around that 84 machine. The top 3 continues to run tight together. Hefner, Brinkley, Johnson, they've been your top 3 all throughout this race. But top 10 all have not taken tires yet. Keep your eye out on Andrew Sheffield. He came in, got some new shoes. He could be a threat. Gavin Gleitzman, he is only down 1 lap. He took tires. So Andrew Sheffield and Gleitzman, if they can get their tires back, if they can get their laps back, they may be a threat. Right now it's Hefner, Brinkley, Johnson, your top 3. Looking elsewhere, Suyabov Saini currently running in the 5th place spot. Oberstadt 6th. Ryan Matthews, he goes all the way to the bottom of the racetrack. What happened there? Ryan Matthews is coming into the pits. And he disconnects. And resets to his pit. What happened? Looks like there was some kind of net code because he blinks and then all of a sudden goes down to the bottom of the racetrack. I don't know if that impact got him out of sorts or maybe some other issue. Not entirely sure. But now Matthews stuck on pit 10 cars now on the lead lap. Hefner, Brinkley, Johnson. We're now past the halfway point of this race. Still, top 10, all have not taken tires yet. I'm sure some might be wanting them at this point, but it looks like at least from first all the way to sixth, those guys are made in the shade. They look like they're pretty well set tires-wise. Looks like Ryan Matthews is done. I'll pull him in really quick just to talk to him while this race is going on. Ryan, this is at my broadcast. We've got a copy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You got me?
Ryan, you got me?
Yes, sir. You got me.
For some reason, that was everybody else, but I was unable to hear Ryan Matthews. Wondering if I could figure out what was going on. Sounds so good. So we look back here to your top three. It's Jacob Hefner, Blaze Brinkley, Ethan Johnson having to navigate around some lap traffic. Whole field, aside from your top three, has gotten very spread out, is now Let me see if I change the permissions, if that'll work. Ryan, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. You got me. Having some Discord audio problems there, but we look back here to the race and continuing to near the end of this race, halfway point. Do have word from Ryan Matthews for those of you who were fans of him. He lagged out, and when it spawned him back in, he gave him wheel damage. So that was the problem with car number 5. Fortunate into his race. Definitely had a fast car. Currently look at the status of our field. Got Jacob Hefner in the first place position. Blaze Brinkley second. Ethan Johnson right there in third. Suyambov Saini fourth. Brody Marinko in fifth. Steven Oberstadt is in sixth. Seventh is Avery Farrell. Eighth, Logan Hagerman. Ninth is Derek Chapu. 10th, Devin Butchino. 11th, Andrew Sheffield. 12th, Colin Willems. 13th, Mason Dunn. 14th is Gavin Gleitzman. 15th, Brandon Butler II. 16th, Delaney Gray. 17th, Carson Obe. 18th, Jacob Schenkel. And 19th, after having lag problems, that was Ryan Matthews. So looking at lap times, and Hefner, Brinkley, and Johnson are all still 3/10 off of their best lap time. Haven't seen any crazy fall off. As now they've caught Devin Bucciano, able to go around him. And I don't know if we'll have another caution. We may, and that'll be kind of change up the strategy, but at this point, it's been clean and green. We've only had 2 cautions, and the leaders have not opted to come in. Lap times only slowed down there because they did have to deal with a little bit of lap traffic, as they will have to coming up here, as they have coming up. They got Derek Chaput up ahead, along with Logan Hagerman. All of you watching on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know in the chat who you are rooting for in this race. If you've got a pick, a family, a friend, teammate in this race, let me know who you're rooting for. Shout you out. And again, this is all for charity. Oh, Hefner into the back bumper of Derek Chaput as he went around him to lap him. No harm, no foul. We see Hefner able to get around the 37. Not quite yet. I don't know if Chaput was very happy about that, as he tried to stick with Hefner a little bit longer, but Jacob gets by him. That was a hard lick to the back bumper of the 37. He wanted to get around him quick. It's Carson Obe. Next car they'll be coming up on. Blaze Brinkley was almost touching the back bumper of the 95. I think at this point we're kind of seeing 50% aggression for those up front. And that aggression will just keep ramping up as the race continues. Still not at full bore aggression, not even 75% aggression, about 50% aggression. Ooh, a little bit squirrely off of 2 there for Blaze Brinkley. He was digging off the corner. And that cost him some momentum and allowed Ethan Johnson to catch him for that 2nd place spot. Abby Thurston on YouTube says, great announcement. Thank you so much for tuning in, Abby, and watching us here for the Afterburner 200. Great race so far. All 130 laps have been action-packed in this great race for charity. Again, do want to give a shout out to some of our donators. Todd Schott donated, and we also saw donation from Sam Wetstein of samalley.com, that logo you see in the top left of your screen. Go check them out on their website, samalley.com. They've got great gifts, including custom tees, mugs, and candles using the power of AI-generated art. Perfect gift for Valentine's Day or birthdays, whatever you have coming up in your life. Go check them out. And the winner of this race will receive a desk mat courtesy of samalley.com, along with the $100 prize. 2nd place going to get $50, 3rd $25, 4th $20, and 5th will get $20. Riley Caudell says, I want Atlee to win. Atlee is not in this race, Riley. He does not have a shot at winning this race. He is merely the guy behind the microphone. If I did really well in our little test practice race, so if I was out there, those guys better watch out. I was going to be a force to be reckoned with. We got a caution flag out. 134 laps in. Caution flag is in the air. Let's see what happened. Looks like Delaney Gray had some trouble. There she is coming up on Andrew Sheffield for that 3rd place position. Drives it in deep. Into the back bumper of the 54 she goes. Sheffield gets squirrely, able to save it. Delaney not so much. Sideways on the apron. Into the ditch. But no damage into the wall. Tough break, though, for car 84. And there come your leaders. All of them into the pits. see who wins the race off pit road. And it's Blaze Brinkley who wins the race off of pit road. Then it's Jacob Hefner falls to second, Ethan Johnson third, Suyambov Saini fourth, and Steven Oberstadt rounds out your top five. I like what else is I still want Atlee to win it. So Blaze Brinkley able to beat his brother-in-law, Jacob Hefner, off of pit road and take the race lead. So now, from Brinkley all the way down to 6th place, Brody Marinko, or excuse me, 7th place, Avery Farrell, they all took tires. Derek Chaput did not take tires. Logan Hagerman came in and took tires. Sheffield did not come in. So now we're on an even playing field again. Everybody has fresh tires. This is going to get interesting. It's Blaze Brinkley on the bottom, Jacob Hefner on the top. Pace car is in. And green flag is back in the air. Blaze Brinkley leads the field into 1 and 2. There goes Ethan Johnson. Oh, they door each other, Hefner and Johnson. And oh, we see a wreck behind them. Caution flag is out. Big pileup on turn number 2, and it keeps going. Cleanup in turn 2 here at Langley Speedway. And that brings us under another caution. What happened? We're watching Steven Oberstadt in that 5th place position, dives down into the corner underneath. And Oberstadt just loses it with cold tires through 1 and 2. Car gets sideways. We see Brody Marinko barely misses getting hit. Same thing with Avery Farrell. Hagerman gets through. Brandon Butler, the second, able to get through. But Willems, oh, clips that back bumper. And then, oh, up top, teammates. Jacob Schengle gets into the back bumper of Brandon Butler, sending him in the oncoming traffic. That involves Derek Chaput. Wow. That's not what a lot of drivers wanted to see. We see Devin Butchino into the pits. He takes tires now. Steven Oberstadt in. He gets his fast repair, takes tires. Chaput also comes in and takes tires, but that doesn't put them at as much of an advantage considering they only pit 1 lap after the leaders did. So they're still pretty much on an even playing field with the leaders. But tough break for those involved. Steven Oberstadt, who is one of the fastest cars in this race, lost a ton of track position after that spin. And that's the tricky part about these cars. They have so much power. When you're entering the corner and you're getting back into the gas on exit, it is so easy to lose it. Car comes out from underneath you, and that's exactly what we saw happen there with Steven Oberstadt. But we've re-racked them, restacked them, getting ready to go back green. Pace car is in, and Blaze Brinkley takes off. Jacob Hefner on his outside. Let's do a restart again. Johnson to that left rear of the 95, trying to snag that 2nd place spot from Jacob Hefner. Hefner has led all race long, but now we see a new face in the race lead. That's Blaze Brinkley. Ethan Johnson, Blaze Brinkley, Jacob Hefner. They've been your top 3 all race long. Johnson just ran the fastest lap time of the race with a 15.78. That 51 is quick, and he gets into the back bumper of Blaze Brinkley as they head off of 2. He gets to his left rear. They door each other into 1 and 2. What a battle. Oh, and Blaze is around. Blaze Brinkley, your leader, is around off of turn number 2. Oh, no. What a wild turn of events. That brings us under another yellow. Blaze Brinkley, Ethan Johnson were side by side into 1 and 2. Johnson sent it into the corner. He gets squirrely, makes contact with Brinkley. And as that car overcorrects to the right, it sends Brinkley sideways. Wow. For the race lead, we see the whole field fans out. Brody Marinko, Hefner able to get by. Everybody else able to avoid the incident. Tough break for Blaze Brinkley, who has been one of the fastest cars all race long, loses a ton of track position. Falls all the way to 13th. Ethan Johnson still in the race lead, but I do suspect that we will see a penalty coming his way. Our race admin is Josh Oswald. We will see if he opts to give him an EOL. I believe this is his first caused yellow of the race. So far, he is staying up front. See Colin Willems into the pits now. And Ethan Johnson, by the discretion of Josh Oswald, will not get an EOL. Looks like he's deemed it a racing incident, so Johnson will remain in the lead with Hefner on his outside. That's knocked Blaze Brinkley all the way to the 11th place position. He will be looking to work his way back up to the field with a chip on his shoulder. Last lap bump and run from Brinkley if he catches Johnson. We'll see. Green flag is back in the air. There's Johnson leading the field into 1 and 2. Hefner tucks in line into second. There's Brody Marinko in third, able to get clear of Avery Farrell. Now it's Farrell signing for that 4th place position. And we have a caution flag. Just as the, and you know what they say, cautions breed cautions. We're seeing this right here. There's Logan Hagerman on the restart. Has got Gavin Gleitzman and Suyambov signing underneath him. Andrew Sheffield behind him. Sheffield, we were 3 wide going into 1 and 2 pretty much. Sheffield into that left rear of Hagerman. Then he goes down into Chaput. Hagerman sideways. Then we see Sheffield go sideways there through the corner. Chaput gets hit by Devin Butchino. Blaze Brinkley able to make it through. He gets some spots because of that incident. So Ethan Johnson remains in the race lead. We see Carson Obe into the pits. Gonna get some damage fixed, I think. Same thing with Logan Hagerman. Oh, looks like he missed his pit stall. Kind of cattywampus there. Those of you watching on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to us on Intensity Broadcasting. That would be greatly appreciated. Trying to grow our brand here at Intensity and continue to provide you with great iRacing broadcasts week in and week out. We've got some great weekly series every single week. A lot of them broadcasted by our other broadcaster, Josh Hall, who does an awesome job. So check us out. I believe we have a Street Stock series on Sunday, along with, I believe, a ARCA series on Tuesdays. And I believe we will have some other short track racing series coming up in the springtime. So stay tuned, turn on your notifications. Thank you for tuning into Intensity Broadcasting, but the show is not over yet. Green flag is back in the air. Johnson, Hefner, 2 very experienced racers here on the iRacing platform getting ready to go at it. $100 on the line here at Langley Speedway. 60 laps left. We see Suing above Siney, Avery Farrell battling for fourth. Siney able to get clear. There goes Gavin Gleitzman in the 63 underneath Farrell. Gleitzman with the nose, not quite clear of the 34 yet. Bumper to bumper traffic off of 4. Gleitzman snags the spot. We're practically 3 wide. There goes Blaze Brinkley, able to get by Oberstadt. Now underneath Avery Farrell. He is trying to get back up to the front with a vengeance. Gleitzman, Siney through 3 and 4. Oh, Siney sideways. What a save. We stay green. That was quite the kerfluffle. Suing above Siney, who's been a fast car all race long, falls all the way down to 10th. Looked like there was some contact from Gavin Gleitzman. Gleitzman loses momentum, falls all the way down to 6th as he gets clear of Avery Farrell. Blaze Brinkley, fastest ARCA car on the racetrack right now, just as he's been for a lot of this race. Just ran a 15.78. He is to the 4th place position and closing in on 3rd place, Brody Marinko. Ethan Johnson, who had a run-in with Blaze Brinkley earlier in this race, knows that he does not want him to catch him. Brinkley able to get underneath Brody Marinko, now up to 3rd. Is reeling in Jacob Hefner for the 2nd place spot. He gets underneath him. What a feat we've seen. Blaze Brinkley restarted a few restarts ago in 13th. He's all the way back up to 2nd, and he's reeling in your leader, Ethan Johnson. So watch out for car number 11, Blaze Brinkley, as this race heats up. See Brody Marinko, Jacob Hefner still there, close together for 4th and 3rd. And at this point in the race, I'd say the aggression level is ramped up to about 75%, if not more. These drivers have got their fresh tires. Tires is not a thing to worry about, or wait, when to take tires. Now it's just all about managing them to the very end, and I'd say once we get about 25 laps to go, tire saving is going to completely go out the window, and it's all about just getting all the spots that you can get. Jacob Hefner just ran his personal best lap time of the race just last time by as he starts to extend his gap over Brody Marinko. Look to Gavin Gleitzman trying to close in on Steven Oberstadt for that 5th place position. We'll see what that 63 is thinking about doing. Marinko reels Hefner back in. Some damage on that number 2 from a previous incident, not affecting him in the slightest. Elsewhere, we see Avery Farrell all over the back bumper of Gavin Gleitzman for that 6th place position, who's fallen off of Steven Oberstadt. And still, as we look at Brody Marinko in 4th, biggest mover of the race, has gained 7 spots from the start of the green flag. Started this race in 11th, currently running in 4th, right behind your top 3. It was a tough break. The biggest faller of the race, Ryan Matthews, had a lag problem and ended up getting some wheel damage, had to exit the race. Currently is scored in the last place position. For the biggest faller on the racetrack, that's Delaney Gray, currently running in the 14th place position. She started this race in 6th, but has fallen down to the 14th place spot. So there's Marinko, Jacob Hefner. The dirt said in the chat, love our short track racing, and it has been short track racing at its finest so far tonight. Bumping, banging, and it will continue as more gets on the line. 13 cars on the lead lap, 13 cars still with a shot to win this race. All eyes right now are on your race leader, Ethan Johnson. Has run a lot of this race in 3rd, then made a bold move. Got underneath leader Blaze Brinkley. They got into it, and that sent Blaze Brinkley around, but Johnson stayed in the race lead. He's held on to it from there. Chris on Twitch says, hey, Atlee, great announcement. Sounded really professional. Sadly, my friend ain't doing good. Great race. Thank you for tuning in, Chris. Sorry, your friend had a rough race. I know there's been a few of those drivers not doing well tonight and just having some unforeseen circumstances. But appreciate you tuning in, watching us on Twitch. Trying to put on the best show for y'all here tonight at Langley Speedway for the Afterburner 200. Money race, $100 on the line, all for the benefit of the Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters Cancer and Blood Disorder Center. Still time to donate. We've got some payment options rotating on the top right corner of your screen if you find it in your heart to donate. And we got a caution flag out. Brody Marinko has crashed. Who we saw running very strong in the 4th place position. Off of turn number 2, it looks like something happens to him. He just goes immediately off pace and tries to bring it into the pits, or at least hold his line on the bottom of the racetrack. And looks like him just stopping on the track was enough to bring out the caution. So this stacks the field back up, and look who's going to be side by side on this next restart. Blaze Brinkley and Ethan Johnson, along with Jacob Hefner, your top 3 all race long. They continue to run with each other. They've been beating and banging. Delaney Gray will get one of her laps back, now to 2 laps down. Car number 84, Brandon Gray Racing Machine. Brody Marinko into the pits, not quite sure the issues that he was having. Was running in 4th and then all of a sudden just immediately went off pace. Could be something with internet, could be something with his steering wheel or sim setup. Not entirely sure, but that's what brings us under our yellow. 162 out of 200 laps complete. The field's going to be all bunched together. And there we go. Lights on the pace car are off. We're getting ready to go back green. Ethan Johnson on the bottom. Blaze Brinkley on the top. Then it's Jacob Hefner, Steven Oberstadt, Gavin Gleitzman. They all round up your top 5. Watch out for Avery Farrell as well in that 6th place position. Green flag is back in the air, and there goes Blaze Brinkley immediately to the back bumper of the 51. That's the battle for the lead. Jacob Hefner, 3rd. We see Gavin Gleitzman is in 4th. Got Steven Oberstadt on his outside, soon above Siney there as well. But we watch this battle for the lead. Dayton Lee says, how did Blaze Brinkley use up his tires working his way up through the field? That's what we're about to find out. He's caught Ethan Johnson. He's gotten up to the race lead. Gets right up to the back bumper of the 51. And it looks like Blaze Brinkley hasn't missed a beat. He is keeping right up with the 51 machine. I mean, that last lap, he was practically ran an identical lap time, so I think he's fine tire-wise. Now, that was definitely the question as we watched him work his way up to the field. Did he over-exert his tires? And it does not look like that is the case. Hefner, 3rd. Gleitzman, 4th after that restart shook out Suyambov Siney up to the 5th place position. Look elsewhere, Avery Farrell trying to find a way by Steven Oberstadt for the 6th place position. Oh, Mason Dunn goes for some agricultural racing. Looks like he got into the ditch. That gets him off pace a little bit. I'm sure that gave him quite the scare, but no harm, no foul. We stay green flag. There's Suyambov Siney behind Gavin Gleitzman for 4th right now. Siney currently occupies the final money-winning position. Oh, squirrely off of 4 there for Siney. Able to hang on to it, but that definitely causes them to lose some ground on Gavin Gleitzman. These drivers have to be careful. I know Mason Dunn said in the chat in practice when the tires started to really wear, it's like driving on lunch trays. And that's what it looked like there for Suyambov Siney. Stays in the top 5 though and is already catching Gavin Gleitzman once again. Cars still on the lead lap. Top 3 all very close to each other. Ethan Johnson, Blaze Brinkley, Jacob Hefner. Siney now is closing back in on Gavin Gleitzman after the pucker moment, I guess you could say, that he had off of turn number 4. Almost completely lost the car, but he was able to hang on to it. Approaching 25 laps to go in this race. Brody Marinko, we see, has gone down a lap. So now just 12. Remain on the lead lap, although leaders are beginning to reel in. 12th place, Mason Dunn. And as there's Hefner going around Blaze Brinkley. 25 laps to go. And I would say at this point, aggression level is kind of ramped up to 100, although Blaze Brinkley, I don't know if he maybe didn't like the pace and he's just going to try to save a little bit more, but looked like he practically gave the position to Jacob Hefner, although I don't know if I maybe missed him losing the car and pushing up the racetrack. Yeah, Brody definitely needs a caution in order to get that lead lap back. There's Derek Chaput, Andrew Sheffield running close to each other for that battle for 9th. We see some battle scars on that 54 machine. Both of these drivers have been in multiple incidents tonight. Maybe not all of them have been their own doing, but still they've been caught up in it. We see Chaput has some left front damage, while some left rear damage on the 54. They keep on chugging along in the top 10. Sheffield in 9th, Chaput in 10th. There's Siney in the 5th place position. Blaze Brinkley has completely fallen off your top 2 of Johnson and Hefner. He's still pretty close, but now there's a lap car separating Brinkley and Hefner, although Brinkley able to get by Mason Dunn. So now 11 cars are on the lead lap as Dunn drops down a lap. Sheffield, Chaput, now Devin Buccino and Logan Hagerman from 8th to 11th. You could throw a blanket over these guys, all of them running very tight together. See Sheffield looking to try to make a move on that 68 machine of Devin Buccino. There he is driving under through 1 and 2. Oh, they touch, dooring each other. They nicknamed him in real life Andrew Send It Sheffield, and he shows why there. Fighting hard for that spot. Here comes Hefner closing in on Ethan Johnson for the 1st place position. As we approach 15 laps to go, Hefner is starting to say, hey, I want to take this lead. It's just your top 2 right now that are close to each other. Blaze Brinkley about a second back from them. Yeah, Dayton Lee says, I guess that answered the question about Blaze's tires. I thought they were okay, but it looks like he's struggling with them a little bit. He's at least 2/10 off of Hefner and a 10th off of Ethan Johnson. Hefner is hitting the loud pedal at the moment. Getting closer and closer to the back bumper of Ethan Johnson. And both of them are hoping that we don't have a caution. They've got some lap traffic to deal with. Delaney Gray, she holds the high side. And we're closing in on the final stretch of this race. Who will win the $100? At this point, it's looking like it's going to be a battle between Ethan Johnson and Jacob Hefner. But with some of the cautions we've seen in this race, anything can happen, especially just as the intensity is ramping up here up front. It's also ramping up mid-pack here with this battle for 4th and even for the battle for 11th. So as Ethan Johnson heads off of turn number 4, 10 laps to go in the Afterburner 200, who will win the $100 that's on the line? Hefner keeps it close. Maybe not revealing all of his tricks quite yet. We see Siney still right behind Gavin Gleitzman for that 4th place position. Gleitzman sealing off that bottom, not exposing the bottom for Siney. Look back up front, Johnson, Hefner. I think as we look at this battle for 4th and the battle for 1st, both drivers biding their time, still being patient. They don't want to make a move until the last second. Whoa! Chaput kind of blinked out of nowhere, but Johnson able to get underneath him. Hefner closes the gap a slight bit. 10 cars on the lead lap, 7 laps to go. Johnson continues to hang on to it for that 1st place spot. Approaching 5 laps to go now in this one as there they go around lap traffic. Devin Buchanel, what can Jacob Hefner do? He's got plenty of real-life Cars Tour racing experience under his belt. He's led a majority of this race, but now he's in a must-win situation. 5 laps to go, now about to be 4. Ethan Johnson made a bold move to grab the lead from Blaze Brinkley. He's held on to it from there. And will we see him reap the benefits? 4 laps. Now about to be 3. Jacob Hefner, does he have any tire left in the tank? Or did Johnson do a good enough job saving? 2 laps to go. Lap traffic there. Carson Obe holding it high. They're coming up on another lap car. Logan Hagerman. 2 laps to go. Time is running out for Jacob Hefner. Johnson continues to hang on to the lead. Now the gap is starting to close. Hefner drives it hard into 3 and 4. White flag is in the air. Coming up on lap traffic, 2 cars up ahead. Hefner right there behind the 51. Will he send it into 3 and 4? He drives it in hard. Can he get to his back bumper? No, he misses it. Up the track goes Hefner, and Ethan Johnson will win the inaugural Afterburner 200. Wow. What a crazy turn of events. It came down to the last lap. Hefner threw a Hail Mary, and it was not caught. Ethan Johnson brings it down to the front stretch into Dale Lemon's victory lane, and he disconnects. Wow. What a way to close out this incredible event. Fireworks blasting off here at Larry King Law's Langley Speedway. Ethan Johnson gets the Afterburner 200 win. So we'll hopefully be able to interview our top 3 drivers in just a second. And look at that. We'll go ahead and pull up the race results. So here's the race results. We'll go through them very quick. Then we'll get on to our race interviews. But here you go. So Ethan Johnson wins. Then it's Jacob Hefner. I know it's scored differently, but he did get the win. Blaze Brinkley third. Gavin Gleitzman fourth. Swing above Siney fifth. Stephen Obersat sixth. Avery Farrell seventh. Andrew Sheffield eighth. Logan Hagerman ninth. Devin Butchino 10th. Derek Chapio 11th. Brody Marinko 12th. Mason Dunn 13th. Delaney Gray 14th. Brandon Butler the second 15th. Then it's Jacob Shangelin 16th. Carson Obe 17th. Colin Willems 18th. And Ryan Matthews rounds out the field in 19th. All right, we've got your top three in the waiting room first. Let's have a chat with your third place finisher, Blaze Brinkley. Blaze, is that one the broadcast booth? You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Awesome. Well, good run here tonight here in the Afterburner 200. I know started in that second place position, and that first half of the race just kind of bided your time, and then after fresh tires, restarts got a little bit aggressive. I know you and Ethan got into it, fell to the back, and you're able to work your way right up back behind him for first, and then it looked like you kind of fell off a little bit, fell to third, and that's where you ended up. So just kind of walk us through your race, kind of the up and down, having to work your way back up through the field.
Yeah, I feel like I did everything strategy-wise right and put myself in a good spot, but it didn't fall how it was supposed to, I guess. At the end, I feel like I was fast enough, and then we just ran out of right rear with like 30, 40 to go, and I just had nothing for the top two.
Now, I know these ARCA cars have a ton of power, and the main question heading into this race was tire management. I mean, what were you trying to do to just keep those tires underneath you?
Tire management wasn't too bad. The setup was kind of good enough where I just tried not really slipping the right rear, but other than that, it wasn't really too bad about slowing your pace down.
Now, before we let you go, is there any sponsors or shout-outs?
Yeah, I got to thank Jacob Hefner. He worked for 2 weeks on the setup with me and tuned on it and helped me out, so big thanks to him.
Awesome. Well, again, congrats on the podium finish, Blaze. Have a great rest of your night.
Thank you.
All right, now let's pull in your second place finisher, Jacob Hefner. Jacob, this is that one, the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, good run tonight here at Langley in these ARCA cars. I know first half of that race, you were the dominant force, led the race. Nobody could really get by you, but I know at that point it was just kind of a train saving tires. Once you got the fresh tires on, so Blaze was able to beat you off a pit road, and you didn't quite have the track position. And after that, once Ethan got up front, you just kind of bided your time, saved your tires, and I saw you throw that last kind of Hail Mary there at the end, but it wasn't caught, and you ended up settling into that second place spot. So just, walk us through that race, starting up front. No, awesome qualifying lap, and then, of course, how it ended up in second.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure kind of what we had pace-wise until we got into the race session. I felt like I had a good driving car. Tuned on it there for a day or so before the race and was just hoping that I had enough. And yeah, I got the pole on the race set. I didn't feel like that was too bad. And those first 130 laps or so, just kind of tried to pace the field and keep an eye on the cars I wanted to keep an eye on. And yeah, when I came down pit road, I stopped too short of the box, and I knew that was going to cost me, and it did. I lost that position to Blaze. And after that, I tried to slot in line, and then him and Ethan got together, and after that, I backed my pace way back down and tried to make a late race charge at the end, and I just came up a little too short. I could have wrecked him for it, but that's just not how I wanted to do it. So I'll take second. Top four were all in the same setup, so I felt pretty good about that. So just fun race. I appreciate you guys putting it on.
Yeah, no, definitely enjoyed having you a part of this race. I know you do have some real-life experience here at Langley. I was talking to some other people, and we kind of agreed that, these ARCA cars do handle a lot like late models, especially on older tires. I mean, did some of your real life experience at Langley kind of help you here?
I mean, yes and no. I knew kind of what to do with the yellow line throughout the run, how I could kind of manipulate the way I wanted the car to turn by the way I hit the yellow line. That helped a lot. I knew, I personally felt like drive was going to be key, especially if you're going to have to pass cars. Thankfully, I didn't really have to pass any cars, but I focused a lot on just forward drive. I feel like that's something that's helped a lot here in the real world, for me at least, and that's what I applied to the real setup. And yeah, I think it paid off well. I wish I had a little bit more at the end, but I'll take it.
Now, before I let you go, is there any sponsors or shout outs?
Yeah, I just want to thank Blaze, Gavin, everyone at Rapid that helped with the setup the last couple days. It meant a lot to go out here and put on a good show, and hopefully there's a couple more of these we get to do in the future.
Yeah, well, I definitely hope to host some more money races, but especially this around this time next year. So hope to have you back. You definitely had a great run tonight. So congratulations on the runner-up. Have a good rest of the night, Jacob.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
Thank you. And now let's pull in your race winner, $100 richer. It's Ethan Johnson. Ethan, this is Atlee in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I got you, man.
Awesome. Well, heck of a race here tonight at Langley Speedway, able to win the inaugural Afterburner 200. Now, this was quite the roller coaster race for you. I know first half of the race, you're pretty much running in third behind Blaze and Jacob. I know y'all were on the same setup, just kind of in sync. And then after everybody came in to take tires, you had the track position up to second, or excuse me, on the bottom and third. And I know you kind of sent it, tried to make a pass on Blaze. Y'all made some contact, and he went to the back. You were able to stay up in the race lead. And after that, I mean, you just did a great job managing your tires, keeping it up front, and you were able to hold off Jacob despite him making a late race charge. So, just walk us through this race, how you were able to save tires, and just, what it feels like to win.
Yeah, it was a really fun race. First off, I just want to thank Jacob, Blaze, Gavin, and Brody for being in there and being a team. Second, I want to apologize to Blaze, but I just feel like that was really a racing deal. Obviously, it got called that way. Yeah, we just kind of played it patient there for the first little bit. Was kind of confused on if we were going to have a competition caution, and we got that cleared up and able to take tires a little bit later there. And that being said, kind of played a little bit different strategy than the rest of the guys, and was able to fire off a little bit quicker. Like you said, was able to just hold off enough tire there for the end and hold off Jake.
Now, I know this race, heading into it, I know there were a lot of questions. ARCA cars at Langley, it's a lot of power on a really short track, and this track is very abrasive on the tires. So, what was your way to manage, the car-track combo? I know it's definitely one of the harder ones here on the sim. Just walk us through that.
I think it's just being patient and not just with like your pace, it's just kind of being patient on the gas, being patient with the brakes, just kind of understanding how the car feels and where it's at with the track state. That's kind of a big thing. Practice was a lot different than the race or than the qualifying and the race. So that kind of played a factor in how our setups adjusted. And I think we all kind of played it well. And obviously we were able to round out the top four there. Unfortunate for our fifth guy out there getting in some trouble. But other than that, I feel like everything was good. And we definitely had a good setup from Jake there.
Now, before we go, is there any other sponsors or shout-outs?
Not really. I just kind of wing it by myself here with the rest of the guys there, and we all just kind of do this for fun. And we're glad you hosted this. I hope everything goes well outside of this, and I hope you have an awesome year ahead of us.
Absolutely. I definitely appreciate you hopping into this. Definitely had a lot of success. So enjoy your $100, Ethan. Have a great rest of your night.
Appreciate it, man. You too.
Well, that will do it for tonight's event. One more time, congratulations to Ethan Johnson on winning the inaugural Afterburner 200. I want to give a big thank you, obviously, to those who have done all of the racers. Their entry fees, half of it was donated to the Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters Cancer and Blood Disorders Center. So thank you to all of the racers. I'll rapid fire through them. Ethan Johnson, Jacob Hefner, Blaze Brinkley, Gavin Gleitzman, Suyambov Saini, Stephen Oberstadt, Avery Farrell, Andrew Sheffield, Logan Hagerman, Devin Butchino, Derek Chaput, Brody Marinko, Mason Dunn, Delaney Gray, Brandon Butler II, Jacob Schenkel, Carson Obe, Colin Willems, and Ryan Matthews. And also Jeffrey Belk. I know he was also entered in this race. He couldn't make it. But without all of those drivers, this race would not have been possible. So thank you to them. Thank you to Todd Schott for his generous donation. And also I do want to thank SamAlley.com and Sam Wetstein for their donation as well. Winner will also get a customized desk mat from them. So go check out their website, SamAlley.com. And of course, highly encourage you to go check out the Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters Cancer and Blood Disorders Center website. See the awesome things that they are doing for those with pediatric cancer and blood disorders. They're doing great things for Southeastern Virginia families and beyond that. So definitely check them out. And again, all of the donation links are in the chat. So if you take it upon your heart to donate, that'd be greatly appreciated. And again, definitely have all of the kids and families at the Cancer and Blood Disorders Center in our thoughts and prayers. Definitely pray for strength and healing during that difficult time. And I know they're definitely blessed to have CHKD on their side. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in to watch tonight. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Intensity Broadcasting on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, as that'd be greatly appreciated. We're trying to reach our goals of 2,500 followers on Facebook, 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and 1,000 followers on Twitch. Check out our Twitter page, Intensity Broad 1. We're always dropping polls and interacting with our viewers on there. And visit our web store, intensitybroadcasting.com. Definitely hope to host another race like this. Actually, I want to host another Afterburner 200 around the same time next year. So stay tuned here on Intensity Broadcasting, and we hope to take flight for the second running of the Afterburner 200 in 2025. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Atlee Atman-Weist on behalf of the entire Intensity Broadcasting team. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Over and out.